So, acolytes, we get the other side of the story. Now, Estes, Espiritus made a video about Tectone criticizing his, let's just say, tweet that was, in my opinion, out of touch. And now he's answering this one. So, let's just see what he has to say about it. And he calls this video the dumbest creator just called me out. So already rage baity as is Tectone, but I think this we cannot fault him for that. I don't particularly care about that. Just show me the arguments. So let's start.
Looks like we got another snake. Now this is a person that none of you.
And this one already bugs me, because wouldn't be a snake somebody that you actually know that backstabbed you? I don't, or can somebody you don't know be a snake? Maybe it's just a Polish thing that's specifically for that. But okay, let's
guys are gonna know, and that's absolutely a-okay. But this guy's a piece of shit. I'm about to expose another fraud in the old YouTube, Twitter community. And the worst thing is, I warned this guy. I gave him a warning. I said, take it down, and he doubles down. So let's get into it, shall we?
Okay, if he could show the message, because what we seen wasn't, hey, take it down, I think you're wrong. It was, no, I want a debate, and if I'm correct, you're gonna show me the stuff. So this is already very suspicious to me. Already the beginning is just...
So I put out a tweet yesterday. And this tweet, I'm not gonna lie, it made a lot of people angry. Generally, people who this angered are people who are just dumb and don't get it and will eventually fail in life like many content creators do. And by the way, if you take offense to that, did you know that less than 99.999% of content creators actually succeed in the business? So maybe we pull our heads out of our ass and realize that even though it doesn't sound too nice, it's the fucking truth. And by the way, since I put out this tweet, I have now connected with over 120 different creators, either telling them, and I'll just be real, I said it, I either told them, you're wasting your time being a content creator, here's why you're fucked, focus on your education, and then go back once you can do content creation on the side while you're doing a job full-time and doing that for fun to see if it can take off. But
see, this is what was missing in the tweet. Exactly this, because this is exactly the thing that Espiritu and I in my reaction actually told. Or Mad, let's just say, maybe not word for word the exact same thing, but the tweet doesn't reflect this. At which point?
Putting 90 hours...
And this is a reasonable place to be in.
...hours into a career that's paying you 1/10 of minimum wage makes no sense. Too many people all in on content creation way too quickly. However, people who were doing better, I helped them invest, I found them an ad agency, and I'm going to help them structure their content because that's what I like to do. I've been on this platform for nearly 7 years now, and I think I'm pretty damn good at it because here's the reality. I don't think there's a single other creator who has experienced more false bullshit thrown out their way that has persevered through all of it with a smile and still success on everything that I absolutely do. And you can call me narcissistic, you can call me arrogant, but the reality is those are just the facts, and that's just the truth.
I think this is, well, it's a really good mix of pretending being a victim and being arrogant. So I think this is why people dislike this one. But by now he's just spitting, and I don't know, should I read the tweet again? No. Acolytes, for those who didn't see this, please read the tweet. Just take your time, read the tweet, and then think about what he is saying, because I already seen it. A lot of people already did. And just so you know the context.
Who has experienced more false bullshit thrown out their way that has persevered through all of it with a smile and still success on everything that I absolutely do. And you can call me narcissistic, you can call me arrogant, but the reality is those are just the facts, and that's just the truth. To quote Mr. Pokey, no war, just facts. Let's go into this tweet here real quick. You're going to see why people got upset, because they're dumb as fuck and they're caught in their feelings. Here we go. If you are a content creator and you are age 30 plus and you are not a millionaire, you are ruining your life. Okay, so let me explain to you why this is. Content, but yet, we're going to read the whole tweet and then I'm going to explain everything bit by bit.
Very good.
If you're a content creator age 30 plus and you're not a millionaire, you're ruining your life. Content creators need to understand that earning money earning enough money to only get by is going to ruin them long term. Every day you spend on your computer streaming, making barely enough to order DoorDash and make ends meet and pay rent. You are sacrificing time you could be building a legitimate career and furthering your education. You're essentially delaying the inevitable, and you will most likely be working customer service at age 35 until you die once you retire. Too many content creators are spending everything that they're earning, not investing, not saving, assuming this amount of income will be here forever. It won't be forever. No one is forever. The average profitable lifespan of a content creator is 2 to 3 years. This is not taking into account how many years of startup it took to get there, as well as the burnout period once it all fades away. If you are not saving, if you are not investing, if you are not being careful with your money, you are going to be left with nothing. Your skills at video games and reacting videos on the internet serve no purpose. You should kill and will not be transferable to any respectable job 99% of the time. I encourage any and all CCs to be more careful with their money, to understand their lifespan as a content creator, and prepare for the future before the future is now. Because content creators are the new pro athletes, and pro athletes are notorious for ruining their lives of short-term success and short-term careers, and not knowing where to go when everything is said and done. If anyone wants to talk about sponsors, investing, and preparing for the future, feel free to hit me up. I've been making content for nearly 7 years now, and I love helping other CCs prepare for the future. I know a lot of people may not like hearing this, but I'd rather say this and make you upset than see another person end up poor, jobless, and miserable when their career fizzles out. Also, the market's failing rapidly right now, and investing is pretty peak, not gonna lie. So essentially, the tweet is about people shouldn't go full-time content creation when they're not making full-time money, and people should always be furthering their education and furthering their careers while doing content creation on the side. And also, when you do make content creation full-time, know that that money isn't going to be forever. That massive boom that a lot of content creators do experience, it's finite. It's not forever. We don't get to work for 45 years like everybody else does. We get to work for 3. So in those 3 years, you need to make a ludicrous amount of money, because while you're working as a content creator, you are delaying your education, you are delaying your career, you're delaying developing your resume, and you're essentially putting your whole life on pause. So if you aren't able to retire by the time that you're done content creation, aka being a millionaire, you need millionaire money to retire at fucking 35. To support yourself, to support a family, you need a lot of fucking money. And if you're not getting a lot of money and all you're doing is content creation, is you are fucking your life long term. A lot of people aren't going to get this. There's a reason.
Now, get to the tweet. You can read it or hear it again, what he said, and compare it to the thing he just said. Those two things are very different in my opinion. And even though I actually asked some English professors that I know, well, I mean, it's only 2, but hey, it is what it is. And they're actually very good at the job, so they explained to me what the tweet that Tectone said meant. And the thing that he is spilling right now is very different than the tweet that he just wrote out. And I think there is a disconnect between him just saying things on the stream so his fans will appreciate it, and him rage baiting stuff. Because as I see it, from what I've seen and heard right now from him, the tweet was pure rage bait. Because the two things are different as fuck. The thing that he just said, this makes full-on sense. I mean, I wouldn't agree with him 100%, because there are definitively content creators that still make a lot of money even after years and years of content creation. So 2 to 3 years, maybe I misunderstood it again, but it's the 2 to 3 years where you make a big boom and a lot of money. Yes, he is correct. that's basically the time where you go in and make the most money. But it's not said that you die automatically afterwards, as I understood it. So I would agree with most of the things he right now said, not the tweet, what he said right now, except for maybe the 2 to 3 year parts. Maybe, but at the end of the day, I trust or I believe him from what I seen that yes, 2 to 3 years, this is the maximized amount of money you could get, because there is always a high in types of jobs like this. Unlike, I mean, a normal job, normally you just go higher and higher and get more and more and more. And content creation, even if you have your own company, there are highs and lows.
Why the internet thinks that 30 and 40-year-olds are so old on the internet, and the reason why that is because the internet's been out for a very little amount of time, and content creators have been out for a very little amount of time, and we haven't seen the long-term content creators. PewDiePie, one of the original OGs, is only like 34, 35, and he has a baby. What's the space going to look like in 25 years when we see how many content creators end up on the streets? To quote some people, I mean, we even have some people in the gacha space. Myself who went homeless, VXV who went homeless, Damone Kim who went homeless, and I'm sure there's going to be more over the next couple of years. So for these people who should be taking care of themselves, investing, preparing for the future, and realizing they need a lot of money to succeed long-term if they want to retire after content creation, well, then they need to start now. However,
see, on point, on effing point, I agree with him. And he did a good thing, because right now I'm realizing, yes, he rage baited with the tweet, and now he just gets the fruits out of it. This is what Tectone is extremely effective at. I have to respect the man for this. I don't have to like him, but I have to respect him for this. This is just, he does an extremely effective way of...
This made some people upset. Majorly the post was well received by anybody who had a reading IQ of above 3rd grade, but to all of the pencil neck, dork, weak-chinned, no jawline dumb on the internet who are so aggressively ignorant, who weaponize their retardation on every single other person because I don't get it, which means you're attacking me. I'm sorry. Just because you're upset, just because you're angry, just because you're sad, doesn't mean that you're right. So
now this tactic, okay, if I see it correctly, now he lays down that everybody who misunderstood his rage baiting tweet is, well, a raging baby. Now let's just say it like this. I don't think that's true. Because a lot of people misunderstood you. A very gigantic, big part of human beings misunderstood you, Tectone. And the way you explain it now, I bet you that a lot of people will understand what you meant way better. But what I think it was a rage bait just so you can make this video. It was more of a long-term thing from a tweet so you have some content to make. This is what I do.
Let's go in to dipshit number 1 who got upset by this. And he put out a video. Tectone is out of touch. Now, I find this video very apropos, and don't worry, I won't let you have to suffer through this guy's entire 20-minute incoherent rambling of a video. I'll play you the first 2 minutes that I've already seen, pre-watched by the way. And Espiritu, I know you're going to watch this because you've been watching me for years. Don't worry, it's going to get even better because I never told you why this guy made this video. Do you want me to tell you why he made this video? Let's give you some backstory. So I started the podcast where I was inviting many of my friends on. Many of my friends, Chibi Reviews, Nicholas Light, Nux Taku, Low Tier God, Dantes, essentially all of the worst people on the internet because I think it's funny. I do. I love interacting with anybody. I think it's fucking hilarious. And well, guess who else wanted a little invite? Yep, Espiritu wanted an invite. But the problem is, he's a fucking gnat.
Kind of happy Tectone is branching out from mainstream shows. I love to join him and Chibi on the podcast to discuss show I think he'd enjoy. Other than Cat Plant Cuties, we all know that's great anime over. Reading this isn't even corporate or aggressive.
Nobody knows who the fuck this guy is. He's a fucking gnat. I don't know who this guy is. And he would talk about how happy he was that I was branching on to mainstream shows. He'd love to join me on the podcast. Another one of him responding to one of my podcast invites. Another one. I'll be blunt. I don't know how much will come to this convo. Would love to debate Tectone on many of his takes on anime, but don't see that legit happening ever. And
realistic.
Another one. Man, I'm voting for myself because I just want to talk about insane fun and weird animes. Please invite me on your podcast. Please invite me on your podcast. Please invite me on your podcast. Oh, but guess what happened?
So wait, okay. The guy wasn't toxic. He confirmed that he wants to join Tectone's podcast. And Tectone's podcast being there is a chance of actually, well, getting more eyes on you. Tectone, wouldn't it be something that you would say, well, to a content creator to do? Just join podcasts that are bigger than them so they profit from it? Because I'm extremely confused. Is this a bad thing, really? The way that Estus actually wrote it? Because I don't see any aggression or negativity there, or confrontational, or being confrontational. Yes, of course. I mean, for F's sake, even I would be happy to join a gigantic podcast. It just brings eyes to me. So, I don't see the bad side in that one.
Happens when I don't invite him on the podcast.
Now let's see.
Oh man. 2 videos in less than 12 hours. Well, the gloves are off. Apparently, Tectone's trying to silence him. Apparently, I'm trying to silence him. Yep, imagine that. Apparently, me saying, hey man, you're a fucking idiot. Quit reacting to my videos because you're weaponizing your ignorance against me. It is not my fault to take care of this fucking guy. I even left him a comment on his video. And I say very clearly, please don't weaponize your ignorance against me. It's not my fault that you don't get it. Even in the first 2 minutes, you've already proven that you don't get it. And rather than try to clarify that, he pins my comment and leaves the video up that he knows he's causing me harm because he's so fucking dumb. He's misrepresenting the points of the tweet that I put out. And he's letting his little, in his words, echo chamber of an audience attack me. Now that's very interesting. Now, obviously,
I hope he shows the full comment he made, because right now he's only showing half of it, and this is already pretty aggressive. Let's just be honest here, this is extremely aggressive how he wrote.
I've been dealing with this shit for years. But the problem is that this guy's a fucking snake, and he's in the anime community, and being in the anime community is very easily. Oh, it's very easy. All you gotta do is say, oh, dude, I love this fucking show. One Piece is the greatest show of all time. And all of a sudden you have a fucking career. It's that easy. Even dumb that look like this can get a career. It's great. Now,
yeah, those aren't arguments. He's just attacking his personality right now, and this is just.
Now, I reached out to this guy in DMs, and I said, and I quote, man, I'm gonna be real, your actions look so bad. To go live and blatantly misrepresent what I said, and then to say, invite me on your podcast so you can defend yourself.
Wait. Good. Give me a second, acolytes. Good. I misremember this. This was the entire tweet he had at 8. What was it? 8:54. Yeah. This was the entire tweet. Now let's see if he mentions the other one.
So you can defend yourself and prove yourself to me as corny as fuck. I'm good, man. And this guy says, no, I wasn't misrepresenting anything. Yourself to me is.
Give me a second. I could, in terms of deleting the video, if I felt your point are proven to more right, even though I state in the said video that I agree with many parts. But to say I can speak out in a video again seems overkill, don't you think? Also remember, Chibi says he spoke to me, he spoke to you about your podcast. Yeah, nah, I'm be real, your actions look so bad. To give life and blatantly misrepresent what I said and then say, invite me on your podcast so you can defend yourself and prove yourself to me is corny as F. I'm good, man. So wait. So Espiritu invited himself? This doesn't make sense. Wait, because we can talk on stream with the condition that you take your video. Okay, this doesn't necessarily mean that he actually invited him, so okay. But I don't see the statement where Espiritu just forced himself onto the podcast. He definitively wanted, because of course, but yeah, and Tectone here also ignored the part where he said, maybe he's gonna answer it.
It's corny as fuck. I'm good, man. And this guy says, no, I wasn't misrepresenting anything. Your tweet was in full context. And I say, the tweet was in full context, but you're retarded.
Yeah, he just ignored his points. He just ignored his points and doesn't even read the tweets, okay? For F's sake, is he just enraged and then misunderstands the tweet of another? Nothing crosses, friend, you're just butthurt that someone does not agree with you. Yes, I mean about the podcast because most of your guests know nothing about the topic they talk about and make shit up. I mean, it's not wrong. I seen the podcast definitively, yes, that's true. You say, I'll be real, but nothing real, bro. Just spite because you don't like the person not agreeing with you. Your tweet is full and caustic. You never once stated where I got it wrong. Just try to play the victim again. Correct, because from what I seen right now, Tectone didn't address anything. He just spits insults for now. So I just don't see it.
You're retarded. So yes, the guy has full context. He read the whole tweet, but the problem is that this guy is so fucking dumb. He doesn't understand how to read the source material right in front of him. I'll be real. Not everybody who reads the light novel of ReZero is going to get it. Not everybody who reads the light novel for Steins Gate is going to get it. You might have watched it in full context, but it's not the author's fault that you're an idiot and you don't understand how great it is. Unfortunately.
No, that's not entirely true. The thing is, you have people who just don't understand what you're saying. Or understand it perfectly. Because the author, in a lot of cases, meant different things than the author actually written down. It's not uncommon. Because people interpret and see things their way. It also could be the problem that people don't have the same context you have. And from what I see right now, you didn't address any point, you just thrown insults and just went in being a rage clown and didn't do anything right now. Just throw insults. And you didn't address any of his points. So, yeah, by now, no.
Actually, it's up to the reader's interpretation. And unfortunately, this reader today is retarded. So let's go ahead and explain that why in about 2 minutes time. Let's go ahead and let this one play out. I apologize for the viewing experience that you were about to have. And by the way, Espiritu, all you had to do was take down your videos. That is all you had to do. All you had to do take down your videos and apologize and say, hey man, I'm sorry I made my stupidity your problem. So let's go see how out of touch I am.
I want to get into a tweet that Tectone made and just kind of break it down. And
you go ahead, man.
If you don't like Tectone, that's fine. Not everyone's going to like people. But I just want to be very clear. I mean, no malicious hate.
I want to let that be heard. He means no malicious hate. I want to go ahead and just put that out there. He said, and I quote, I mean no malicious hate. Great.
No ill will. I'm simply...
No ill will, no malicious intent. Very interesting.
Just criticizing Tectone's tweet and kind of going into my thought process behind it.
Sure,
this
man.
is simply how I could potentially interpret it. So
yeah, his interpretation on what I said, rather than just going off of what I said.
Again, keep things civil. Criticize the message, not the individual. Again, I just really...
So, he says he's not going to insult the individual. Okay, great.
Don't agree with how Tectone has worded this, and I think it's kind of harmful in how it's presented. Maybe he didn't mean it in quite the way. I would say I'd be open to discuss this with him.
I'd be open to discuss him if he invites me on his podcast. If he invites me on his podcast, I'd be open to discuss it. Please invite me on your stream, Tectone. I would love to talk about this anytime.
Can we get to the fucking point?
But I can tell you right now, he won't. I keep saying I offer, but I know he won't. But I'm going to do this video regardless because I want to criticize it and highlight this to some of his audience members that seem to just blindly eat everything he says up.
I don't mean any harm. I don't mean to attack him as a person whatsoever. I'm just saying to his audience that's too stupid to understand what he's saying and blindly eats everything up. Yeah, man. Isn't it so good? Isn't it so unharmful to accuse a creator of only having an echo chamber? Yeah, man, true.
Could you interpret it this way? Yes, I think I understand Tectone at this point, I think, yes, that this was a stab. Yes, I understand his view of it here in this case, yes.
Because I've seen the quote retweets, and it feels like a lot of his content creator friends are like, yeah, Tectone's so smart here. No.
Oh, really? Okay. So this guy says on this tweet, there's a bunch of my content creating friends that are saying, yeah, oh, Tectone's so smart. Okay, well then let's go through it. So these are all of the quote retweets. And I mean this genuinely when I say this. I encourage anybody to go through my follower list. I don't know who a single one of these people are. Not to mention, these are some of my biggest antis with trigger point in here. There is not a single person that I know. There's not a single person that I follow in entirety in this quote retweets. Nobody is saying this that I know, yet you accuse my friends of blindly backing my tweet when I mean this genuinely. Even this person, not a fan of him at all. I don't know these people. I don't know a single one of these people. And there's more people naysaying that are getting mass approval than aren't. So no, in the first 1 minute, you have already said 4 things in your own video that are already provable to be demonstrably untrue. Espiritu, this is 1 minute. 1 minute of your own video that you have already proven yourself to be unreliable, a blatant spreader of the misconception of the untruth that you are narrating. It's insane. Let's go even further.
Fair enough, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, this was a bit as his friends. No, I'm gonna be honest, Acolytes, I have to agree with Tectone on this one. Yes. And I don't think that it's the lens of a normal human being, but this is the lens of a creator that is actually years on this site. And this could be a bit different for him. So there's that.
No. And I don't know if it's just bad messaging or maybe I've interpreted it in a different way. So
I promise you it's option 2. And it's not my job to take care of dumb fucks on the internet. Okay? You look like you live with your parents still, so why don't you let them deal with this shit and not put it on me to educate you?
We'll read it and I'll go over bits and pieces. I'll try and read as much as possible because I don't want things to be kind of taken out of context.
But it is very hard because I never learned how to weed.
If you're a content creator age 30 plus and you are not a millionaire, you are ruining your life. I feel personally attacked as a 35-year-old that currently right now looks like a homeless person because I haven't had a haircut and
Just because you're upset doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
a shave in quite a while. But at least I don't look
Self-report.
like Asmongold with rotting teeth.
Why are we going after Asmund?
Content creators need to understand that earning enough to only get by is going to ruin them long term. That's literally how every job works, Tectone. Most people make just enough to get by, even with full stable jobs, whether they're working in nursing, construction, retail, cleaning, gardening. Think of any sort of, I would say, middle pyramid tier kind of job. It's not like, you know, everyone's got doctors or engineers or programmers or, you know, even game design, because I was going to say, like coding for gaming and stuff, even game designers don't even get paid that well these days.
2 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and speak now. And this will be the furthest I let the video outplay. Hey guys, do you know the difference between being a content creator and being a game designer or a manager? Do we know the difference? Do we know the difference? Lucari, thank you for the raid. Sorry, I'm going in on an internet dumbfuck real quick. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that. Do you know the difference? 1 is job stability. 2 is building a resume. 3 is practical experience. In every one of those other jobs that you just listed, those will build your resume that you can go and convert your experience to further your career in that field or pivot to a new field. You don't get any pivotable learning experience, resume filling by reacting to internet videos and playing video games. You can't say, well, I played Monster Hunter World for 500 hours, so I think I should be the manager at Lowe's. That's just not how it works. And yes, Espiritu, I do know that. Do you want to know why? Because I work a career. Yes, can you believe that? I do content creation full-time and I have a side job. Because I'm not a f***ing idiot. Yes, I do know that. You know who doesn't get that? You. And that's why content creators who are wasting their life not making enough money to be able to retire long term should be investing and saving their money and acting or realizing that this short term money can't last long term most of the time. So investing and saving everything you can now is very important because, like those other real world jobs, it doesn't provide stable income or recommendations from a previous boss or practical work experience that you can put on your resume to find a new job. And in 2 minutes, Espiritu, you...
Yeah, I think I understand it now. The first part of if you're 35, you're not a millionaire was pure rage bait. Now I understand it. This was, by Tectone himself, it was to be ignored, basically. Because the essence, or the thing that he harpers on, and ignores the other things, is that he meant, yeah, you can build up on it, blah, 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 blah. So the rage bait start was just totally unnecessary. If you just think of it like this, or as I see it at least. If you take it out, is anything of worth that has some worth lost in the context? No, there isn't. So as I think, Tectone rage baited extremely effectively in this case.
Have shown that you don't get it, and even worse, you accuse me of having an audience that blindly eats up everything that I say? Here's the reality. Your video has a 80% approval rate, which I guess means 80% of your audience blindly agrees to everything you say. Weirdo weird. Welcome to twitch.tv/Tectone, the symbolic metaphorical mirror that you have to look at yourself, and man, is that reflection fucking ugly. Here's an idea. Take the fucking videos down, apologize like I told you to do earlier, but instead you want to go on the internet and make an ass out of yourself. Your ignorance is weaponized and you're a blatant clout chaser. And how dangerous a person is when they don't get it and they make that everybody else's issue, man, it's a dangerous thing. It's embarrassing.
I still gonna say this. While I disagree on some points and disagree on others, Tectone clearly dodged a lot of things. I mean, even this one, where he definitively wanted to... I mean, I don't know the Tectone stance on free speech, but it looks that he is against it from what I can hear here. Because at the end of the day, why would this be even important to him from such a small creator? Is this really something to get as... I mean, no, that the thing is, yeah, he effectively rage baited. There was something about the tweet that somebody would go in, would make a stupid thing, and Tectone just provided the necessary food for fodder to actually bait somebody into reacting to it in a certain way. And Espiritu, as he is, as the start, because I didn't recognize the start, that the start was extremely arrogant. Now that I seen it, or Tectone pointed it out, yes, the start was extremely arrogant. It was a little step in the freaking back. He started very passive-aggressively. I didn't recognize it by the acolytes. This is a learning experience for me right now. So there's that. But to be honest, the stuff that he said afterwards and he just ignored is extremely suspicious to me. It is. Because the stuff, he's not incorrect. Or, I mean, is he incorrect? The points that he made, okay, fair enough. There is a different point of view to look at some stuff. I changed my mind on 1 or 2 points. But the stuff that he ignored, just straight up ignored, is worrying to me. This was clearly, a part of it was a misrepresentation of the point that Estus made. Or he just totally ignored some points of it. Because at the end of the day, 70% of the entire thing, those two people agree on it. Simple as that. Yeah, but let's see what this brings. At the end, I am just a bit on a 50-50 here. And not a 50, I mean 70-30, I just got new points, or maybe a new way of seeing things, that Tectone just has a different point of view. That Estus was definitively passive-aggressive at the start, may not be as bad, and Tectone definitively ignored a lot of points, or some points, that Estus made, where I right now assume, okay, you're making a dedicated video to disprove him, and the points where you said, don't talk about me, that are basically against free speech, that I am bothered the most by the way, you just totally ignored it. Didn't even read the comment of Estus, and ignored the comments of his, especially with the one answer thing. This was, in my opinion, disingenuous, just reading the blue thing, what you answered, and not his thing. And pretending that Estus just did it to go on the podcast and just pressed you into inviting him, maybe a bit overdone. Or it's definitively overdone because I actually got a bit, well, bored of it. But hey, okay. Agree to disagree. As it is, acolytes. Good night.